Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Modi calls Mongolia a spiritual sibling as India extends $1.7 billion credit line for an oil refinery and signs a heritage restoration MOU with the Central Asian nation. India hosts UN peacekeeping meet. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reaffirms India's commitment to a rules-based order while calling for reform, showcases indigenous technologies. And Andhra Pradesh is to host Google's $15 billion AI data center. Prime Minister Modi calls it a landmark investment for India's tech future. The President of Mongolia, Khurelsukh Ukhna, is in India on a three-day visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the President of Mongolia today witnessed the exchange of MOUs between India and Mongolia. This happened in Delhi, and several MOUs were exchanged, boosting cooperation, aligning with India's Act East policy and Mongolia's third neighbor diplomacy, fostering regional stability.
वैश्विक मुद्दों पर हमारा दृष्टिकोण हमारे साझा मूल्यों पर आधारित है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंचों पर हम करीबी साझेदार हैं। हम दोनों देश फ्री, ओपन, इंक्लूसिव और रूल बेस्ड इंडो पैसिफिक का समर्थन करते हैं। ग्लोबल साउथ की आवाज को सशक्त करने के लिए भी हम मिलकर काम करते हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also noted that though India doesn't share borders with Mongolia, India has always viewed Mongolia as a neighbor and that the country will keep strengthening people-to-people ties.
हमारी सरहदें भले ही जुड़ी हुई नहीं है, लेकिन भारत ने मंगोलिया को हमेशा एक पड़ोसी के रूप में देखा है और इसी नाते हम पीपल टू पीपल टाइज को बढ़ावा देते रहेंगे। हमने निर्णय लिया है कि मंगोलिया के नागरिकों को निःशुल्क ई-वीजा दिया जाएगा। साथ ही भारत हर साल मंगोलिया से युवा कल्चरल एम्बेसडर्स की भारत यात्रा भी स्पॉन्सर करेगा।
Prime Minister Modi and the President of Mongolia also released a commemorative stamp to mark 70 years of diplomatic relations between India and Mongolia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks with the Mongolian President Khurelsukh Ukhna at the Hyderabad House in Delhi, strengthening the 70-year India-Mongolia strategic partnership. The discussions focused on defense, trade, energy, mining, cybersecurity and cultural ties. Both leaders emphasized a free, rules-based Indo-Pacific and also Global South advocacy. Both sides, India and Mongolia, reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations. The President of Mongolia, Khurelsukh Ukhna, who is on a state visit to India, paid tribute to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat in New Delhi. President Ukhna had arrived on Monday to New Delhi on a 4-day visit to India. He was received, in fact, by the Union Minister of State for Civil Aviation, Muralidhar Mohol, at the airport. The visiting dignitary also inspected a guard of honor. The President of Mongolia is accompanied by a high-level delegation which comprises cabinet ministers, members of parliament, senior officials, business leaders and cultural representatives. This is the Mongolian President Khurelsukh's first visit to India as president. India and Mongolia are strategic partners, spiritual neighbors and third neighbors. Now, the state visit of the Mongolian president is to provide an opportunity for the leadership of both countries to review the progress in bilateral relations, to set the vision for strengthening the strategic partnership, and to exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. The Ministry of External Affairs on Tuesday briefed the media in New Delhi on the Mongolian President Khurilsuk Ukna's visit to India. The Secretary East, Periyasamy Kumaran, he said that India and Mongolia have signed 10 MOUs covering areas such as cultural exchange, cooperation and quick impact projects.
10 MOUs were signed. The joint statement will list out the MOUs. They were in the area of cultural exchange, immigration cooperation, promotion of cooperatives, humanitarian aid, geology and mineral resources, quick impact projects, yoga, and also renovation of the Bogd Khan Palace.
Marking one of the biggest ever investments in the country, Google is to invest $15 billion over the next 5 years. This is to set up a data center capacity for an artificial intelligence hub in India's Andhra Pradesh. This investment is one of Google's largest AI hub investments in the world outside of the United States.
Very pleased to announce a new gigawatt scale AI hub in Visakhapatnam. It's the largest AI hub that we are going to be investing in anywhere in the world outside of the US. It represents a capital investment over the next 5 years of $15 billion.
The Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav hailed the decision of Google for investing in India, and he said that digital infrastructure will go a long way in meeting the goals of India AI mission. Overwhelmed by the investment announcement by Google, in a post on X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, and I quote, "Delighted by the launch of the Google AI Hub in the dynamic city of Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. This multifaceted investment that includes gigawatt-scale data center infrastructure aligns with our vision of building a Viksit Bharat. It will be a powerful force in democratizing technology. It will also ensure AI for all, delivering cutting-edge tools to our citizens, boosting our digital economy and securing India's place as a global technology leader," unquote. India has reaffirmed its status as a global technology and electronics hub at the Gulf Information Technology Exhibition GITEX in Dubai 2025. Now, with the Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council, ESC, leading a 100-member delegation of Indian companies there. The India Pavilion, it showcased innovations in electronics manufacturing, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, cybersecurity and smart mobility, underlying India's growing export strength in ICT and digital solutions. With India-UAE trade surpassing $100 billion, electronics has emerged as a key growth driver. And talking to DD India, the ESC chairman Veer Sagar, he highlighted that GITEX is a crucial platform, in fact, for India's entrepreneurs, especially MSMEs and startups.
I'm amazed at the progress made by UAE. And when I look at the figures, I'm not amazed because last year India and UAE had a collaborative turnover of $100 billion. ESC has been working with UAE companies to create more dynamism in creating IT for solving everyday problems. With our educational system, with our startup systems, we are helping the companies in UAE take up to IT in a big way.
Well, tens of thousands of people marched through Brussels on Tuesday in a nationwide strike against government austerity measures. The protests disrupted flights and public transport as unions opposed Prime Minister Bart de Wever's plans to reform pensions and cut spending to reduce Belgium's budget deficit, which breaches EU rules. Brussels airport cancelled all departures, while the Charleroi airport also halted operations. Demonstrations denounced plans to raise the retirement age to 67 and accused the government of targeting workers instead of the wealthy. The strike adds pressure on De Wever's coalition, which has yet to agree on a new budget amid efforts to save $12 billion and boost defense spending under NATO commitments.
It's about our pension. We need to work longer than what we used to. When I'm old, I just want to have my time. I want my time to follow my dreams. And right now, like, the government is putting so many rules that I need to work longer. There are not that many possibilities. I'm a student, and like, it's so hard right now to live this life on this world.
Still to come here on DD India Live. India emerges as a key driver of global growth, says the IMF chief ahead of the 2025 annual meetings. Australia's Zampa and Inglis are ruled out of the first ODI against India.
This week on Defence Dynamics, India's defence momentum gathers force. From new missile deals and production lines to deeper naval cooperation, with India, New Delhi's strategic partnerships are setting new benchmarks. Meanwhile, a Chinese move that could disrupt global defence supply chains, raising fresh concerns amongst major powers. Plus, Pakistan's growing unease as India-Afghanistan ties move towards a new phase of cooperation and trust. Catch it all this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. In a significant endorsement of India's economic trajectory, the International Monetary Fund has spotlighted the country as a rising powerhouse in the global economy. This comes just ahead of the 2025 IMF World Bank annual meetings. The IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva has hailed India as a key engine of world growth, underscoring the country's expanding role in the global economic landscape, speaking ahead of the 2025 IMF World Bank annual meetings. The Managing Director highlighted a shifting global economic landscape. And she noted that the global growth, it's projected to grow at roughly 3% over the medium term. That's down from 3.7% pre-pandemic, while India continues to emerge as a vital engine of global growth. India's Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, in collaboration with the Indian Ports Association, held a press conference on Tuesday at the NESCO Exhibition Centre in Mumbai. This is ahead of the India Maritime Week 2025, which is scheduled from the 27th to the 31st of October in Mumbai. Now, this press conference was addressed by the Union Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbanand Sonowal, and he outlined the government's vision for the maritime sector. He detailed the strategic objectives of IMW 2025. Minister Sonowal emphasized India's commitment to strengthening global maritime partnerships, attracting investments and promoting innovation across the sector.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की कुशल नेतृत्व की वजह से देश के अलग अलग विभाग का साथ पोर्ट शिपिंग वाटरवेज इस सेक्टर को भी बहुत बड़ा शक्ति मिला, साहस मिला, आत्मविश्वास मिला, जिसकी वजह से आज इस सेक्टर में नई नई सफलता की तस्वीर खड़ा करने में हम लोग सफल हुई है.
G20 ministers under South Africa's presidency met on Tuesday. The G20 ministers have adopted the Resilience for All Declaration on Disaster Risk Reduction, or DRR. It coincides with the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. India's delegation is led by Dr. P.K. Mishra, the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister. Strongly supporting the move, Dr. Mishra called DRR a collective investment, highlighting India's leadership in multi-hazard early warning systems, anticipatory financing and public-private partnerships. He emphasized India's coalition for disaster-resilient infrastructure, aiding 50 nations, and its integrated DRR approach in national plans. Bilateral talks with South Africa's Villankosini Halabasi and Australia's Christy McBain reinforced cooperation. The principal secretary to the Prime Minister also praised South Africa's Africa-centric agenda and reaffirmed India's commitment to the declaration's goals through domestic and global action. The declaration advances the G20's 2025 focus on inclusive sustainable resilience. Defending champions Haryana Steelers broke their 5-match losing streak with a come-from-behind 39-32 win over Patna Pirates in Kabaddi. The defending champions were trailing by 7 points at one stage before eventually prevailing 39-32 at the Tyagaraja Stadium in New Delhi on Monday. Now, with that win, the Steelers have moved to the 6th place on the points table as they remain in the hunt for the top 4 spot.
नॉर्थ में जयपुर में भी अच्छा किया था टीम ने उसके बाद 4 विन लेके गए थे चेन्नई में लेकिन नहीं अच्छा कर पाए होता है परफॉर्मेंस अप एंड डाउन है ना लीग में तो दिल्ली में आए हैं सो बहुत अच्छी टीम के साथ एक अच्छा विन किया है सो खुशी बहुत है बस इस विन को कंटिन्यू करे टीम बस यही भगवान से प्रार्थना है और अपनी टीम से भी कि इतना ही अच्छा खेलें नहीं देखो जयदीप राहुल ये तो मेरे की प्लेयर हैं ना ये चेन्नई में भी अच्छा ही खेल रहे थे बहुत टैकल कर रहे थे लेकिन वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा जो लक होता है आपके साथ वो मिसिंग था कहीं ना कहीं तो 3 मैच हमारे आपको पता बहुत क्लोज होके गए हैं ना उनका रिजल्ट कुछ भी हो सकता था बस वो हम अनलक्की हैं कि हमारे फेवर में नहीं आए अदरवाइज इन्होंने कोई कमी नहीं छोड़ी बहुत अच्छा खेले हैं 2 मैच को छोड़े तो
आर बेशक हम हार गए पर हमारी जो मैनेजमेंट है या कोच साहब है एक बार भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि भाई हमको क्या कर रहे हो क्यों आ रहे हो या कुछ हमें गुस्सा किया कुछ भी नहीं हमको बार बार मोटिवेट कर रहे थे कि भाई तुम करोगे अच्छा करोगे कोई बात नहीं हम 5 हारने के बाद तो भाई वैसे भी टीम डाउन चली जाए पर कोच साहब ने हमारी जो मैनेजमेंट ने पूरा साथ दिया हमें और भाई उसका शायद नतीजा यो आज है और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि आगे भी यही लय पकड़े रहे हम जो 5 हार गए हैं तो हम कोशिश करेंगे अड़में उनको भरपाई करें और पूरे 5 के 5 जीतें
Well, that was news from the Pro Kabaddi League. Now, Australia will miss the services of the leg spinner Adam Zampa and the wicketkeeper Josh English. This is in the first home ODI against India at Perth on Sunday. Matthew Kuhnemann and Josh Philippe, they have been called in as replacements for the much-anticipated series. Zampa is going to miss the fixture because of paternity reasons, while Inglis is recovering from a calf strain. Well, Inglis will also miss the second ODI, it is believed, scheduled for next week in Adelaide, which will see Alex Carey's return to the 50-over setup. Now, Carey is featuring in a Sheffield Shield match as part of the preparations for the Ashes, which will keep him out of it, if it's keeping him out of the first match, that is. The 3-match series between India and Australia, it's to commence on October 19. Canada's the men's national soccer team, so they've trained in New Jersey now ahead of their international friendly against Colombia on Tuesday night. The players practiced at the Red Bulls training facility in Whippany, running drills and working on passing sequences. The match will see FIFA's 30th ranked Canada, led by coach Jesse Marsh, take on Colombia in their first meeting in over a decade. The two teams have met 3 times before. Colombia has won twice, while Canada claimed victory in the 2000 CONCACAF Gold Cup final. Some cricket news, and India sealed a victory by 7 wickets against the West Indies in the second test at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi, completing a 2-0 series sweep. Kuldeep Yadav was the man of the match, and that was because of his superb bowling. And Ravindra Jadeja was awarded the man of the series for his all-round performance. Here's more on the home series win and its implications on the WTC points table.
Dominant India clinched a 2-0 series sweep against a hapless West Indies side as the hosts secured a 7-wicket win in the second test match at New Delhi. India's ace opener KL Rahul smashed a well-composed half-century to take the hosts over the line comfortably on day 5. West Indies put up a spirited fight, but India were once again too strong to be denied. After posting a mammoth 518 for 5 declared in the first innings, India enforced the follow-on but were briefly challenged by a gritty Caribbean resistance. John Campbell and Shea Hope led the fight back for the West Indies side with two superb centuries, stitching together a 182-run stand. Kuldeep Yadav and Jasprit Bumrah turned the tide with 3 wickets apiece. Tailenders Justin Greaves and Jayden Seales stitched a stubborn 79-run partnership for the 10th wicket, setting a target of 121 for India. India made the target look easy. KL Rahul remained unbeaten on 58, while Sai Sudarshan added 39 to guide the team home with 7 wickets to spare.
I've always believed this, that world cricket needs West Indian cricket. That is something which is very important. It was very nice to see them fight. And obviously, they're an experienced team, and there's a lot of changes that has happened there, but the way they fought in the second innings obviously will give them a lot of confidence.
India's twin victories in Ahmedabad and Delhi further strengthened their position in the World Test Championship standings. Shubman Gill's men now sit third on the table after Australia and Sri Lanka. Ravindra Jadeja was named Player of the Series for his all-round brilliance, scoring a century and taking 8 wickets. Kuldeep Yadav, who starred with an 8-wicket match haul in Delhi, was adjudged Player of the Match. A confident Indian side will now gear up for a test series against South Africa starting November 14. Sports Desk, DD India.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app, available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. From all of us here in Delhi, thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.